Liverpool 2, West Ham 1. Another hard-fought victory for Liverpool at Anfield. Diogo Jota fast becoming one of the best signings in the Jurgen Klopp era. There's no doubt. £40 million looks a snip. But the big questions have got to be asked when it comes to that attacking three. Diogo Jota is knocking on the front door. Another abject poor performance from Firmino up top. Jota again getting the winning goal. I think that is 3 games on the bounce that he has done that for Liverpool Football Club. Jurgen Klopp has certainly got to start considering him for a starting berth in these big Premier League games. It's a much needed 3 points for Liverpool, especially with the Champions League and Premier League games they have on the horizon before the international break. I want your views. I want your opinions on this. Firmino, does he need to be... Firmino, sorry, not Fabinho. Does Firmino need to be dropped? Should Diogo Jota be starting? We want to hear from Liverpool fans, West Ham fans as well. Let's go, people. Yes, people. As we've said, Jota coming up trumps again for Liverpool when required. Did a brilliant job. My chair has been lowered. I'm not too sure who's been sitting on my chair, but somebody has. Got it up a little bit. There we go. Comes up trumps again for Liverpool Football Club when needed. And that's the bit that stands out massively to me here. When needed, he steps up and delivers again. For me, he is absolutely knocking on the door for a starting place in this Liverpool team. He's been the saviour in recent games. He's come on. His movement has been great. His touch has been excellent. His goal-scoring form is there. Has to, in my opinion, start to break into this first team instead of Firmino. Firmino is not performing to the standard required to be in this Liverpool team. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But I want your views. I want your opinions. I want to know what you think and feel about this. Again, not a vintage performance from Liverpool, just 9 attempts on goal in that game. And quite a few of them came towards the end once Jota joined the fray. Until that point, Liverpool looked like they're going towards another poor result so early on this season. But Jota came on. Between him and Shaqiri, they really changed things up. Is it now time for Jurgen Klopp to look at his front three that have been mesmerizing for 3 years and say, we need a change? Original base Annie here says, so Liverpool fans are ready to talk about Jota over Bobby. Well, I want to know what you're thinking, and I want to know what you're feeling in relation to that. I really do. James here says, Jota, the super sub. He has been an excellent super sub, but should he be more than that? Should he be starting in this Liverpool team? Because Bobby Firmino, well, he hasn't just been poor tonight. He scored in 3, maybe 3 games in the last 30 matches that Liverpool have played. That is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. So another standout performance I want to speak about tonight as well. Nate Phillips, I think it's Nate Phillips, comes into the team. I'd never heard of this guy. I didn't even know he was a Liverpool player. When I saw the starting lineup, I was like, who is this guy? Really good performance from him tonight. He actually performed, in my opinion, better than Joe Gomez. And it should have been the other way around. Joe Gomez, of course, highly culpable for West Ham taking the lead. The penalty, 100% a penalty, in my opinion. No different from Thiago Silva's foul on Rashford last week. So I will always keep the same energy. Liverpool deserved that penalty. It was a foul. Liverpool had a goal by Jota actually disallowed. Again, I thought that was the correct decision by the referee in VAR. Firmino slides in, went to ground, didn't touch the ball, took out the defender and hit the goalkeeper. It's a soft one, but it's a foul, rightfully disallowed. But Jota still came up trumps and delivered again. So I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts and feelings. Daniel here says, Wolves made a mistake selling Jota. It's what Liverpool needed most. I think they made a mistake not getting more than £40 million for this young man. He's dynamite. Absolute dynamite, in my opinion. Absolute dynamite, in my opinion. There's no doubt about that. Simple and straightforward. Someone here says, another poor result. We are top, you fool. I didn't say it was poor. I said it was a good result. I didn't say it was a great performance, but you got over the line. Without Jota, though, where would you be? Are there any concerns from Liverpool fans, though? You know, you played West Ham United, only 9 shots at goal. Any concerns with your performance tonight, Liverpool fans? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. But the big talking point tonight is, should Firmino be dropped? Bobby Firmino, in my opinion, does need to be dropped from this team. But as ever, I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want to know where you're at. I know it's hard for Liverpool fans to criticize your players, but I don't think you can have a player in the form that we currently see Jota and him not start. I just think that would be a criminal decision from your manager. Jota over Firmino is what James LFC 86 has got to say here. I completely and utterly agree. Sam here says Firmino's form is annoying. Jota so far is a madness. And you're right, bruv. He is a madness. That's why we're talking about it. He has to start. He has to start over Firmino, in my very, very, very humble opinion. He cannot keep being kept on this bench because he has been the difference in your last few games. No shadow of a doubt. He's just been sensational. I'm looking at Jota's here statistically. Scored in these last 3 games. Winner against Southampton. Clinched it against Midgetland and then beats West Ham for you. That is clutch, because in those games were in the balance. You know, an 83rd. Yes, sorry, is that 83rd? I couldn't see the screen. The writing was really small. I'm reading it here. An 83rd minute winner against Sheffield United. Sorry, not an 83rd minute winner. He actually started that game. I'm not too sure. When did he score in that game? That's the minutes he played. Apologies, I got that completely wrong. Just waiting to get that report up. Did he get the equaliser or did he get the winner? No, he got the winner on the 64th minute there. Scored a last-minute winner tonight for you. He gets that last-minute goal against... He actually scored the first goal in that game, the opening goal. I got that completely and utterly wrong. Sorry, my bad. I apologize. But he got that all-important opening goal after he was struggling to break them down. But his goals have been so decisive. Clutch moments as well, like today. Absolutely brilliant. There's no doubt about it. And Phillips, you want to keep Phillips in the team, Liverpool fans, even with Fabinho or Matip returning? Let me know. Dinesh here says, evening, Terry. Joshua should start. And when Thiago can sit in front of the defense. Yes, Thiago's back. He's going to be playing. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. There we go. Let's do a few more of your comments here. This one's an interesting one. I love Bobby, so I want to read it. I love Bobby, but I can't disagree that Jota has to start. Of course you can't disagree with it, because I think only a fool would disagree with it. I think only a fool would right now say that Bobby Firmino should stay in this team. He isn't scoring. He isn't creating. He's holding Liverpool back. You look at a completely different team when Jota comes on in these Premier League matches. He needs to. He absolutely needs to be starting. I can't see any other reason for him not to be. He has to be starting these games now, in my opinion. You look a better side and a better outfit with him. No doubts whatsoever. Some more super chats here. We're going to respect these super chats. Cara insinuated that Firmino has been very poor. I don't listen to matchday commentary. Stevie Wonder can see Firmino has been poor. You can't be even a defensive forward. You cannot only score in 3 matches out of 30 games for Liverpool Football Club, best team in the country, and get away with it. Klopp's too cutthroat for that. This game cried out for Thiago, and Shaqiri showed it, passing between the defensive lines. Jota needs to start over Bobby. Need to improve defo. Yeah, performances do need to improve for Liverpool, but if you keep scraping these results when you're playing poorly, then happy days. Atalanta and Man City are going to be completely different propositions to that of Midgetland, Sheffield United, and West Ham. Liverpool's levels in the next 2 games have to increase, have to be better if they're going to pick up results in those matches. I think starting Jota is a big step towards that, in my opinion. Let's do some more chats here. Pete says Firmino should be dropped. Shaqiri and Jota should start with a 4-2-3-1. Henderson and Thiago in the 2-man midfield. It's a great shout there, Pete. Sam says, got a lot of love for Firmino, though, legend. Of course. But you can love a legend but still think he needs to be dropped. If his form isn't there, these players can't play. They just can't. Aaron here says Bobby needs to be dropped. No doubt he is out of form and he's not even linking play up. So what's the point? Jota should start over him. That's the big point there, Sam. I'm glad you brought that up, my bro. I'm glad you had the guts to say that. He's not even linking the play, which is what he's been so brilliant at in a Liverpool shirt. Liam here says, in my opinion, Firmino has been amazing for us. I love him, but he hasn't been good enough for about a year now. Jota and Shaqiri, very good options instead. I couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more on that point. MDS says, Liverpool poor, but Klopp got the Black Forest juju. Jota over Firmino. Alea is a massive flop. Alea hindered West Ham's attack. He did. It would have been a different night tonight had Antonio been fit. I think Alea is a huge flop at West Ham. Same as Jovic. Jovic and Alea together, when they were, I want to say they weren't at Hoffenheim. Where were they in Germany? Somebody tell me what club they played at. They played together, though, in Germany. I believe it was Germany. They were great as a pair. As individuals, you're absolutely right. Massive, massive flops, both of them. Shaqiri and Jota partnership is a crime again. Yeah, it works very well together. I'd like to see more of it as a football fan, no doubt. Respect to Klopp. He subs. Shaqiri also got the assist as well. Yeah, big. You know what I'll say about Shaqiri? I really like what Shaqiri did because Shaqiri, for me, I want to say this in the right way. He's been on the periphery. He's been on the edge of the squad for a year. Like he's almost been the forgotten man. And he's been given opportunities and he's worked hard. He's kept his head down and he's delivered when needed. And I think that's the important bit. He's delivered when needed. And it's imperative that players come out there and do that. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Let's do a few. Frankfurt, that's who they play for. I knew they played for a German team. I just couldn't remember which one it was. We've got Samuel on the line now. Samuel, what you saying, bro?
Yes, Terry, how are you doing?
I'm good, bro.
Listen. First of all, I want Liverpool fans to know this, that Firmino has been out of form, but I know rival fans are going to say Firmino no goals or whatever, but don't bash him. Just say that he needs to be dropped because he has been out of form, it's clear, and Jota needs to start. So that at least we know that Firmino gets competition, because I think for many years now that Firmino hasn't really had a competition in the team. Like we've had Origi, we've had Minamino hasn't really started off too well, and he hasn't really had competition. But other than that, shout out to Matt Phillips. He did not put a foot wrong today. Joe Gomez, yeah, he made the mistake, but the defensive partnership was sound. I have to admit. That game, again, as the super chat said, was crying out for Thiago. As soon as Shaqiri came on, I saw the pass that he made. I saw it before he even made it. And I was like, Shaqiri, please make that pass. Please make that pass. The pass was so good that Jota couldn't miss. And Jota, my goodness. Chelsea fans were saying, oh, maybe we needed Werner. Let me say this. Jota has 3 goals. Werner has 3 goals. Jota has 3 goals in less games than him. That's all I've got to say.
I hear you on that. Should Jota be starting over Firmino? Because Firmino is in terrible form. What would you do personally?
Personally, I will drop Firmino because right now it's not going for him. Before I backed Firmino because he's one of my my favorite players, but right now he's off form. So we need somebody to actually, maybe he will work his way back into the team. And Jota right now, you can't deny him. Like as soon as he comes on, he makes a difference. Like you can't deny Jota right now.
Samuel, I can't disagree at all with that. I know Liverpool fans at the minute will go, we won 4 on the bounce. It's great. We all know the performances haven't been good enough. And at some point, you go in one of 2 directions. You either improve the performances and keep winning, or you start to lose games. And this is what happens. And I know a Liverpool fan like you will recognize that there are some issues there. But you look for me a better team when Diogo Jota comes on and he's playing with Salah and Mane than you do Firmino, because as one of the super chats said, he's not even linking the play together very well anymore. The difference in the second half, I was thinking you had a couple of shots early on. One shot, early on in the second half. You went sort of nearly 2/3 of that second half without having an attempt on goal. You made those substitutions, and Curtis Jones as well. I think he's had quite a few starts recently. I've been really underwhelmed with him. It's like nothing in the team. Shaqiri comes in, you improve. Jota comes on for Firmino and you improve. And I just think both those players maybe need to be considered.
I think a lot of the time in the first half we were playing a way too safe sideways football. It was too slow, and I was screaming at my laptop was saying it's too slow, it's too slow, it's too slow. One of the things is that I did say before this match I was actually quite afraid of West Ham, because if you actually look at last week, they did take points off Man City, didn't they? And I was very afraid because we didn't have Thiago in the team. How were we going to open up this team? But Shaqiri, brilliant. He does need to start more games. I think Klopp doesn't see that. And let's not lie. Let's give credit to Klopp. That was a great tactic to put on them two, and it changed the game. So 3 points in the bag. We look forward to Atlanta. Hopefully Matic is back. Hopefully Matt is back and Thiago's back, and yeah, we just keep on winning. You have to keep on winning.
No, I agree with you. It's important that those things get done. Philip Hunt here says, proud of my team. When our best players come back, we'll be better. Jota is a legend. I mean, that's a little bit strong, but I get why you're happy. Excited. As we started to create a path for another title, Jota starts. Now, I agree completely. Samuel, bro, I appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. Thank you
man.
very, very much, my man. Thank you. I agree. Liverpool, but the Liverpool do need to get their performances to improve, because better teams will punish Liverpool's levels at the moment. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And that's something that Jurgen Klopp knows he needs to improve on. I think maybe one area we've been not focusing on is this almost untouchable starting 11 that Liverpool have. You know, and there are certain players within that starting 11. And when I think of, I'm talking about the front three here, Firmino is one of them. Maybe that's where it needs freshening up at Liverpool. Maybe a changing of the guard needs to happen. And it's, Jota, you're going to come in. Maybe Mane starts central. And then you just have this situation of Mane, Salah, and Jota just interchanging positions, making it very difficult for teams to be able to do anything to them. You're going to have Thiago coming back soon for more creativity from the middle, but maybe using Shaqiri more. I would start Shaqiri over Curtis Jones now going forward, because Curtis Jones, for me, in all these starts he's had in the early part of the season, there hasn't been a game where you've gone, ooh, look at him. Not like you've seen with a Phil Foden, not like you've seen with a Saka, not like you've seen with a Greenwood. And I know that those players don't all necessarily play the same position, but you see an instant, oh, this person can play at this level. A little, oh, I like that. Haven't had that from him yet. Shaqiri comes on, delivers within minutes. That's who I would go with. Next up on the show, we got Man Like Ram. Give me your thoughts on that game, bro.
Yeah, it was a good result. Performance-wise, it wasn't great. Big up Nat Phillips. I've heard about this guy for quite a bit of time, and he's been out on loan. Klopp has highly rated him. He's had him on his shortlist, so I had a feeling that he'll be a part for this team. And yeah, big up Diogo Jota. Like, Jota came on, did the business. He's got 2 goals. One of them was obviously ruled out. Rightly so, it was ruled out. And the second one was just brilliant movement and a brilliant pass from Shaqiri and a brilliant finish. Just, yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, look, I've been talking about Jota for a long time. People know I've got a soft spot for him due to knowing. I don't know him personally. That's the wrong way. Like, I was involved with some stuff financially with him and had a number of conversations. Really good guy, really good young man, and a very talented player. I think I just feel that this is again. I'm a football fan, so this is an opinion. You know, Jurgen Klopp knows what he's doing. But I look at it from the point of view of, you've got to set the right precedents at a club to continue moving forward. And when you have a player like Firmino that's been playing shocking, and you've got a player like Jota that's playing very well, rotation is going to be key. So Jota can't start every game. But I think you've got 2 big games this coming week. I think you're 2 wins out of 2. Maybe you don't start Jota against Atalanta, because you save him for that Man City game, which is going to be absolutely huge next weekend. Nobody wants to go into an international break, have 2 weeks off on the back of a defeat. And you know your performances need to be better. Although tonight you get the win and everyone's buzzing about Jota, Liverpool fans will know he didn't have a shot on goal at home in the first 20 minutes. And then there was a good 25-minute period, well, maybe a bit less than that, maybe 20-minute period in the second half where you couldn't break West Ham down. This isn't unlike Liverpool that we've seen. And yes, you're 4 wins from 4, but we know that your levels need to improve. We know you need to go to the level, and you look better with Jota. So I would rest Jota for the Atalanta game, but he should be starting against Man City next week for me, because he's formed. And you have to, one sec, mate, you have to set that precedent, because if these players play well and they can't out certain sort of looked at as guaranteed 11 players, it can be a problem. Go on, Ram.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about this. I had a conversation with Stroh earlier in the game, and I thought Klopp made a mistake in playing a 4-3-3 because in my opinion, I think Klopp should go back to his tactics for Dortmund, playing with that 4-2-3-1, because I feel like quite a lot of the teams have sort of snuffed out that formation, and once Shaqiri came on and became that number 10, we looked a little bit more dangerous. Yeah, I didn't like. I was hoping that Curtis Jones would be playing in that number 10, but in between the defensive and midfield lines. But I thought he wasn't great. I know how good the guy can be. I've seen him play in the youth academy and in like against Everton and like in other matches. He's a really, really good young prospect.
Yeah.
But I feel as though he's been forced into the squad a little bit too much, and maybe he has to come on a little bit sparingly as a young kid, but where a young player is just trying to find his feet, and hopefully he'll come good. Hopefully he'll come out better.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of people on here saying, Terry, the sign of great teams are the ones that play badly and win. You're absolutely right. But you can't take that saying out of context. That's when a team has a bad performance, a good performance, a great performance, a very good performance, a good performance, and then drops a stinker but still wins. When you're performing below standard every single week, at some point you come unstuck. And I think that ignoring that would be a slight issue. But you did, and my point is, you look better with the likes of Shaqiri and Jota in your team over Curtis Jones and Firmino. So maybe that's where the manager has to. I'm not going to say he has to be brave, because of course he's a brave manager, but he has to make that decision. And the next big game for you in the Premier League, it's Man City, who are a lot more potent, that will be able to break your defense down a lot more than West Ham were able to, a lot more than Midtjylland were able to. And those teams did it. So when you go up against a team that's got much more of an attacking threat, when it comes to your offensive approach, it needs to be absolutely on point, and it hasn't been, because this is going to be a much tighter season. Teams are all going to drop points, and if Liverpool are going to win it, they need to get in my opinion, they need to raise their performance levels by another 20%. And I know that Liverpool fans are like, no, it's all going to be absolutely fine. But I'm taking my reaction here, and I'm being educated by Liverpool fans. I was sitting there following different Liverpool accounts during the stream, looking at what Liverpool fans were saying, and there was fury and annoyance throughout them. Why can't we break them down? We look poor here. We're going to drop points again. This isn't right. We need to make changes. This isn't me necessarily just saying it. I'm listening to what a lot of Liverpool fans are saying. But there we go.
Terry, just just 2 points. 2 points on that whole. What's it called? The whole we win badly. We used that phrase in I think December time, and think it was like we went through a scrappy game, and then the next game we played against Leicester and we smashed them 4-0. We have had really good performances, but we just didn't do that.
Exactly. And I think if you'd have beaten Midtjylland up midweek, and then last week beat Sheffield United 2-0, but just bossed them in the whole game as an example, and then you drop a performance like tonight and win, no one cares. But it's when all your performances have been sort of, for Liverpool standards, 4 or 5s out of 10, and you're scraping over that line. It does become, real football fans know that's a worry. Nobody enjoys that week in, week out. But I think dropping Firmino will go a long way to solving this problem. David, what are you saying, bro?
No, it's Ram's team. Let Ram go.
Ram.
No, just on your point on the whole Firmino thing. We've seen it before. Klopp, I remember the famous one. He dropped Wijnaldum in the Champions League semi-final against Barcelona. And maybe it might be good for Firmino just to be on the bench, because it might have bring that little bit of spark that he had back when he was playing 2 seasons ago. We don't know, but Klopp has proven that he's dropped significant players for different games. So hopefully,
I know he has, and in my opinion, he's got to go and do that again now. But look, all that being said, Liverpool, as it stands, yes, with a game in hand, are top of the league. You know, they've got 16 points. They've lost 1 and drawn 1, which isn't the end of the world. I stand by what I'm saying. This isn't the same potent, scary Liverpool team that we saw up until February last season and saw for a whole year or so before that. They're simply not, but they're still the best team in England, and that cannot be denied. But Chelsea are coming on very, 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 very strong.
Whoa.
They're you are coming. Relax. No, listen. When you look at Chelsea's form in the last few games, barring the Man United game, for me, barring when Liverpool beat Chelsea, which is a really tough one to assess because you didn't even have all your new signings fit. I haven't seen Liverpool boss teams like I've seen Chelsea do in recent games. Even in like the Champions League, like the way you boss that team in the Champions League, they're the same standard as Midtjylland, but yet you guys just like front to back bossing. And that's where you've got to start looking at it. I don't know what Man United are going to do moving forward. I'm not too concerned about that. Everton, we know, look very, very good. City ain't going to win the league, but they'll be able to push it. But it's one of them ones. David, what was your thoughts on today's game?
It just doesn't excite me. Like back in before when I used to watch football, I used to be like, at least I'm gonna watch some entertaining football. It's getting boring. Imagine watching. It's getting boring. Oh my god, Firmino. In the words of Terrace, he couldn't score in a brothel. I swear on my life, like the guy, he can't score a goal. It's ridiculous, and he's not even assisting anymore. I don't know this. He connects play. This that. No, Ram. Be honest. Is he as integral as you man are all making him out to be right now? Because all I'm saying, I've seen him subbed off a couple of times, and then someone comes in his spot and
let me say this now, Ram. Sorry, Ram. Let me just jump in there. The reason that Jurgen Klopp was trying to sign Timo Werner is because he wanted someone who was scoring more goals from a central position.
Yeah.
And I know that everyone tried to, yes, and it gives you better strength in depth and more options. And all those things Liverpool fans said to defend Firmino were true. But you were looking at a more potent goal scorer because he wanted a more potent goal scorer to finish these chances off. There's no doubt about it. And listen, a lot of Liverpool fans saying we don't care about performances. We only care about winning. I'm really sorry.
Just wait.
I don't believe you.
When Christmas comes about, you can't drop that many clangers. Because there are so many games you can't.
Can I just address David on that point? One thing about Firmino that we've all been saying, Liverpool fans been saying, is that once he does come onto the pitch, the flair, the tricks, the work rate, the things that he does on the field for the front three has been nigh on amazing in the last couple of seasons, and we've seen it with the likes of Mane and Salah like profiting from all that stuff. So it's quite narrow-minded for you to say that. But when we look at the last like couple of months, like funny enough, just after when Kaka said that Firmino was the best striker in the world, like the work rate, the flicks, the tricks, the everything, the flair, it's not there. It's not there.
You know what it comes down to? Sometimes we as fans overcomplicate this. There's an expression in the world, like sometimes a change is as good as a rest. And that counts for everybody involved. You know, you can feel exhausted in your job, and then you get a transfer in department or go to a new company and you suddenly feel vitalized again. You haven't had a rest, but the change gives you that same boost. And I think Liverpool just need that maybe that change. That front three have been together now for what, 3 or 4 years? There comes a point where it might not even be Firmino out of form. It could just be as a collective three, they're stale and they need something new. And it's, again, Liverpool fans just got to learn that this is what happens when you're a top team. You can have a 5% drop off and people are like, oh, you don't look as good because it's like, you think about like an amazing like singer, rapper, whatever. When their music's the bee's knees, they bring out an album it could still be one of the best albums of the year, but if it doesn't touch the previous one, you're like, I'm disappointed still because expectations are so high. And that's all I'm saying. And I stand by what I said the other day, and I mean it. If Liverpool perform against Atalanta or City or any team in the top 8, how they have been against teams in the last 4 matches, they will not win.
When a team like Southampton show up, you're going to have massive problems. They will press. You better hope Thiago's back at that time because they will press you. Like, yeah, and also, Ram, you said you wanted to switch to a 4-2-3-1. Doesn't that mean you have to drop Henderson then?
No.
Well, no, because no, because you said.
And I've got some super chats to do here. First one says Man City are going to smash Liverpool and City are going to win. I bet Man City wins the league. £50. Well, if somebody had that bet with you, somebody can do it. Thank you to M3824 for becoming an official member. We've got member chat only for the last 10 minutes or so of this stream. If you want to get your comments in, either do a super chat or sign up as a member right about now. Do us a favor and hit that like button, please, people. It's so important to the channel that you smash that. Whether you agree with my opinion, Ram's opinion, David's opinion, it's not about that. It's helping the independent YouTubers. And also make sure you are signing up right now to the mail list of the Football Terrace. We're going to be doing the newsletter. Ram, Liverpool fan Ram, there he is. He's put the newsletter together. That's going to be coming out at some stage tomorrow. So make sure you're signed up to that. What I will do for you is, people as well, in case you go into the description, you don't know which one to click on. I'm going to post it right now in the comment section so you can all see it. The link for signing up to the newsletter. Go and get that done now. It's completely free of charge. You're going to say something, Ram. Go on, bro.
Was I going? Oh yeah, it was about the Henderson thing. I never said that Henderson won't be dropped.
No. I'm saying I think he will be dropped because, right, if you do this 4-2-3-1, Fabinho is going to come back eventually. Now, according to what Carragher's been saying, this Phillips guy is the next coming of Virgil van Dijk.
No, don't try it.
I am obviously exaggerating. No, he was all right today. He did what he had to do. There wasn't much that he had to do anyway. But like, if when you do get your centre backs back, whether that be Matip or Van Dijk or whatever, you're going to go into 4-2-3-1. Are you not going to have Thiago and Fabinho?
No, but I'm saying for now. Because of the lack of players that we have.
So okay.
But
when all your players come back, you'll go back to the 4-2-3.
Yeah, because of the 4-2-3-1 that Klopp played, he didn't have like the amount of midfielders that of our quality that he had with Dortmund, and quite a lot of the defensive work was done by the likes of Sven Bender or maybe Sebastian Kehl. And I know for a fact Henderson and whoever's going to be next to him will do the same amount of defensive work.
Yeah,
I think if it's going to be going forward, it'll be a 4-2-3-1 with maybe Henderson, Thiago, and maybe Wijnaldum in that 10 where he plays for the Netherlands. That would be interesting.
He might get his first Premier League assist in 2 years. He might.
We had a super chat from Shane O'Hare who said, well, Terry, hope your head was okay after last night. Cracking show on Thursday night as well. The Arsenal fans hope all is well. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Shane, for the super chat. Yeah, last night and Thursday night were two of the best nights of Football Terrace has ever had in terms of shows. The way that some stuff that's gone on that's been trending across social media platforms has been mad. But that's what we're here for. And we are no echo chambers. Listen, I don't mind you guys criticizing me on certain things. You guys take criticism back. I love how upset Liverpool fans are at the moment because I'm saying that you're not performing well. I'm still saying well done and congratulations for winning. I'm just pointing out that I still make you favourites to win the league. I still think you're the best team in England. I still think you have the best manager in England. I still think you've got some of the best players in the world in your team. There's no doubt. But I'm being honest. I'm always honest. When I'm honest as a United fan and say you're amazing and you were brilliant, you go, oh my God, Terry. Oh my God, he's like so amazing and unbiased. I'm not unbiased. I'm just honest. And if I see your performances being poor and I can see holes in your team, like, again, you've conceded today. By the way, you should have conceded against Midtjylland. They were just awful finishing. You conceded today. You conceded against Sheffield United and could have conceded more. They opened you up on a number of occasions. Better quality teams. Like Antonio, if Antonio was playing today instead of
Haller. Oh my God. Haller just needs a partner.
Credit Liverpool, where Liverpool might be have done an excellent job, is by the time they play Atalanta and City, they might be past this bad run of form and they might click. And sometimes you do get a bit of luck and a bit of fortune where you play poorly for 4 or 5 games and you come through it with the victories that you need.
Well, they've been playing 4 for about 20 games.
When your levels improve and you go back to being close to as good as you were last year or as good, you'll see me say that to you. You will see me turn around and say, yes, there's a difference in how you're winning these games compared to all the narrow wins last year because you weren't being troubled in those matches. You just weren't being troubled like you are in these. That's the fundamental difference. I'm so excited for Liverpool's next 2 games as well. They're going to be absolutely brilliant. They truly are. Winter Surfer here says, welcome to the Academy members. Yes, man like Daniel, thank you for signing up to the channel as well. We've got Stro with us now. Stro's always honest as a Liverpool fan, always. I'm getting a lot of crap here because I've said that your performances haven't been good in the last few games, and Liverpool fans are saying that I should shut up talking about performances because performances don't matter. What do you think, Stro?
No, we've not been good in the past few games. But one thing I will disagree with you, Terry, on is if you look at us last season, we were being troubled. Watford at home. If Ismail Sarr takes his chances, they beat us in that game. Sheffield United at home. So even though we weren't, I can name the games. Watford away, poor, wasn't great by our standards. Aston Villa weren't great. Sheffield United at home, West Ham at home, Bournemouth away.
Sheffield United away as well.
Yeah, Sheffield United away. There's 6, 7 games there where we weren't at our best, but yet somehow we still managed to scrape a win. And I understand what you're saying because it looks worse now because, they had a stat today which was 26 shots and we've conceded 15. Like that's a joke. Obviously, Adrian comes into that, but that's no excuse. Our defence hasn't been good enough. I thought Nat Phillips was excellent tonight, but at times we were still cut open. But I watched us a lot last season, and it reminded me at times of how frustrating it was. Like Sheffield United away last season was one of the most frustrating games I've ever watched in my life last season. And watching this tonight, I just thought, I don't think we're going to break through. And we've not been good this season. And I mean, we've been poor this season.
That's where I would I get where you're coming from. When I think back to those games, I thought there's 3 or 4 of those games before February. After February, it's a different conversation for me. Before February, where, yes, you could say you were below par in terms of the performances that you put in. But one, you were opening teams up and missing opportunities as well as them having a go at you. What I'm seeing this time round, which feels different, is not only a team's opening you, they might not be having more shots, but they're opening you up more than I felt you were last time. But you're not as potent going forward. And it's when you put those two things together, better teams will beat you. And I think last year, yes, you were like winning 1-0, but lucky. And I'm sitting again, but did you see how many great saves a goalie made, or how many almost chances you had?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's where I felt it was a little bit different last year, where I was sitting there watching the game and we've gone 20 minutes in the second half. It's 1-1 at Anfield. And I'm thinking, how have you not had a shot? That just weren't happening last year. But look, Jurgen Klopp's good enough to get you out of it. But I feel like these next 2 games are going to be that massive acid test, because Atalanta can play football. And they'll open you up, because they open everybody up they play against. And then the Man City game next weekend is just, for me, is going to be fire. I'm so excited about it. And I'm hoping that both you drop points, because
a draw would be lovely.
People. But I wanted to ask you about Jota. Should Jota be starting, in your opinion?
Yeah, I've seen, me and Drifty seem to be the only 2 people that have actually criticised Firmino for the past 6-7 months. I get his all-round play when he's at it is phenomenal. Like, if you look at the 17-18 Firmino, the goals in the Champions League, the goals in the league, at times he was unplayable. He's a shell of himself. And even his all-round play isn't the same as what it used to be. I said this a couple of weeks ago when we played Everton, just the normal balls that he'd slide through for Salah just aren't coming off anymore. And listen, this is where Jurgen Klopp deserves credit. Shaqiri was out. Everyone thought that he was gone. He brings him and Jota on in, they link up and they get us the winner. Phenomenal ball through. But how can you not start a man that scored 3 in 3 at home? Every time he comes on, he looks like he's going to score you a goal. With Firmino, you don't get that.
No, I just think it's gone a little bit stale with Firmino and the front 3 that he plays in. And there comes times, and we've seen all the great managers do it in the Premier League era, and I'm sure they've done this in leagues that I don't watch, where you go, you know what? It's not about Firmino not being a good player. It's just, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to bring in a new striker. I'm going to bring in a new winger, whatever it may be, to freshen things up. And for me, Jota's banging on that door. He's the most informed forward you've got. It would be a crazy decision, in my opinion. Maybe not against Atalanta, because you've got to rest and rotate. But against City, that lad has to be starting. Premier League proven, young, energetic. And as you say, he's on fire. He's on a streak. I don't think you should be trying to end that streak. And, he's in great form. And maybe Firmino could do the kick up the backside. That might rejuvenate him. Who knows? It's going to be an interesting one. But boys, I appreciate you all coming on. I'm going to go, because it's pay-per-view boxing tonight. Going to go watch that. Well done to Liverpool, sitting top of the league, where you should be as the best team in England. But this Premier League is going to be so exciting. I can't believe it. Chelsea are starting to look really, really good. United have looked good in recent games, but are they going to remain inconsistent? We don't know. Tottenham, it's up and down with them. Man City, I do think the fire and the fight has gone from them. Another, again, a victory today, but they were just... If you're an alien that came out of space right now, somebody said to you, they got 100 points a couple of years ago, you'd look at you, they'd go, you're a liar. They call you a liar. They would not believe you with the way they're playing. It's going to be so interesting. Thank you, by the way, to Shawnee Brown for signing up as a member. It means a great deal to us. A first team member you signed up to as well, which is amazing. Shawnee, my guy. We're back tomorrow with more content. Full watch along for Arsenal, Man United, and of course a post-game reaction show as well. So make sure you're tuning in for that. Sign up to the newsletter. That's coming out tomorrow. Man Like Ram has sent me. I've got to just copy it onto the format. Get yourself signed up for that. Big competition news for the PS5, amongst other prizes, coming very soon as well. Gentlemen, I appreciate you all coming on this evening. Everyone take care of yourselves. Good night.